I want to talk about celebrity memoirs. We brought Chelsea up here. You've written one. You read them on your show. You talk about them a lot. Can you give us a quick history lesson, Chelsea, on the evolution of celebrity memoirs? Because I know you know.
Yes, I would love to. So female celebrity memoirs are different than what I call men's memoirs, which are male celebrity memoirs. Male celebrity memoirs arc has gone like this. Okay, so they're all, like Matthew McConaughey's is my favorite. It's just like a long poem about his dick, and like his dad comes in. It's like pretty vague. And you're just kind of like, what? They're kind of all like that. Female celebrity memoirs, for a long time, they would have to be like half style books. So they'd be like, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life. I'm so sorry. But I will tell you how to dress for a short torso. Blue eyeshadow is in. The old ones would give like long makeup tips. And because we didn't have the internet, in the back would be like stores you should shop at. So Delta Burke, who was in Designing Women, would be like, hey, if you are any bigger than a size 6, here's some brands I found. And they would be like in the back of the book. But in these books, I have found that female celebrity memoirs have always really shared their truth and the truth about women, which is that in these books, you will find tons of trauma, a lot of really big hardships. And it's kind of wild to me because we've thought of these memoirs as trash books because they wanted us to. They wanted us to think like, oh, these like trashy, like sellout lady books. And every one you open is the story of a woman who wanted something more out of life. And in order to get it, she had to venture through the patriarchy. And horrible stuff happens in these books, horrible stuff. And so, I would say the arc is that more recently we have come to appreciate the vulnerability and what they've been offering this whole time. Jessica Simpson started a revolution where what she offered in her book was just so much more than what people gave Jessica Simpson credit for, that everyone was like, oh my God, like these books are good. And then they had to go back and see that they've been good this whole time. And now more celebrity women are encouraged to write authentic, vulnerable books. You will even see women like Padma Lakshmi, who in her book is, it's a good book. She shares a lot. And now she's sharing like, I actually had an abortion at 14 and didn't have the support and the feeling that she could put it in her book, but will now share it because that's where we're at.
Do you feel like,
I got one clap.
That's my aunt.
You're her aunt?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my family. And my husband, who is in big trouble. Him and Brian are going to fight later. I will put it on Instagram Live. I've heard you talk about this a little bit, but hearing you talk about the whole kind of arc of everything, it feels like now the ones that aren't vulnerable or that are style books or whatever are the ones that we're shitting on.
Yes, which I don't want to like shit on anyone's book, but like it's nice. It's nice that everyone's shitting on them because it says that like we value women as a whole. You don't have to just tell us about makeup anymore, And I will say, if you want to tell us about makeup, go on Instagram. Don't write a book.
Who's doing that?
Oh, so many people.
I like want names.
J-Lo's you hated.
So J-Lo's is a pamphlet with great PR that said it was a book. But it's just it's beautiful photos of her. But she, and I do mean that.
Beautiful gowns.
Great photos. But yeah, and it's funny because, did you guys see the J-Lo doc?
Yes.
You did not. Okay. So you can tell that someone on J-Lo's team said, hey, we are valuing women being authentic and real. We value that now. And she's coming out. It's not that she doesn't have it in her, but J-Lo's never wanted to do that. So in the doc, you can see her being like, I'm going to be real now.
Yeah.
And her hair's like a little messy, But she's like, fuck off. But she tried because that's what we're valuing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this on you, Rachel. Now, you've written your celebrity memoir. Did you feel nervous or uncomfortable or scared or whatever to share your vulnerable stories? Like, how were you thinking about it going in?
No, I'm a complete open book.
You are.
I was nervous to tell family business because I didn't want to get in trouble with my family. And I was nervous for exes to read it. Like,
did they read it?
Yeah, I had an ex DM me.
Did you get feedback?
No, not the ex.
Okay.
The ex would.
If you've read the book, you know who I'm talking
Not
about.
a text because he doesn't have my number.
Okay.
Not
Boundaries.
the ex. He's probably very upset. But the one who did DM me said everything that you said was true, and I'm actually raising daughters. And so what you said really resonated with me, and I'm taking it into account as I raise 2 young girls. So like that actually meant a lot to me. But I'm not nervous to talk about me at all. I just put it all out there. It is what it is. You can hate me, love me. I don't care. I don't care.
Okay, so let me. No, I'm not asking you this because I know what your answer will be, Chelsea. Why should we care about celebrity memoirs? Like, why shouldn't we just read stories about abortions at 14 or vulnerable women from writers who are trained professional writers? Like, why should we be supporting people who are actors or makeup artists or whatever, unprofessional?
I don't know the makeup artist celebrity memoir.
I meant like Delta Burke. She wrote about makeup.
Delta Burke. Okay. You know, I can't say like, oh, we should support them, but I will say the reason why they matter is that we have not offered women a lot of available positions of power in this country. For instance, president, off the table. No, not for us. Okay? Vice president, like maybe if you're attached to Joe Biden. But the ways like women can have power in this country has forever been celebrity. That's one of the ways that like when you look back to like women were not even allowed to like be your manager at Taco Bell, like we still had female celebrities. And so their stories matter a lot because celebrities shape our culture. So to me, when I was reading Jessica Simpson's book and she's writing about how even as a woman who had everything, she had all the money, she had all the privilege, Tommy Mottola was like, you're fat. Who's a record exec? He was Mariah Carey's husband. So at 15, he was like, you're fat. You should lose weight. It's like, oh, he then put her through that. And then that put all of us through that. And then when we had this, I remember being at the grocery store and looking at the little rack of magazines, and Us Weekly or People was like, Jessica Simpson's really fat now. And that was the headline. And they had these pictures of her, which I feel like if I say it, you can all kind of think of what I'm saying. It's like, oh, Jessica Simpson got so fat. She like broke up with John Mayer. She's so fat. And in her book, she writes, I was a size 4 at the time. And I had just gotten away from abusive John Mayer, broke up with him 9 times, the tales. And I just kind of wanted to be normal. And then everyone called me fat. And I looked up those photos. And I encourage you all to do it the moment this is over. And you go, that's the tiniest woman I've ever seen. But it was taught to us that she was fat. So we all learned that that's what you're allowed to look like. You're not even allowed to look like that. And so when I look at these books and read them, it reshapes, it goes back into my own history and goes like, oh, that was wrong, that was bad. Here's what she was feeling, here's what she was thinking. And she said she never spoke out at that time because she didn't want to body shame anyone else. She didn't want to come out and say, actually, I'm this size, I'm this weight, because then that would body shame anyone who wasn't. And so that to me resets our culture. It re-looks at just like everything we're doing. And you get to learn that Tony Romo had garbage bags on his windows as curtains. That's fun.
And
You get a little high, a little low.
Rachel is a Cowboys fan, so she condones
But
that
not
message.
a Tony Romo fan.
We'll see. Okay, what's the celebrity memoir that you are dying to read, both of you? I know mine.
Well, Rihanna hasn't written it yet.
That's the one. That was mine.
Is that good?
Rihanna's
But
is mine.
will she ever?
No.
She's never
She
going
don't
to.
She
care.
barely gave you 8 counts of 8 at the halftime show. She's not writing a book.
do that.
I mean, listen, I've watched that halftime show every single day since it happened with my children. We do the choreography every single night at home. It's serious for us. I love a low energy performance. To me, that is powerful, right? Yeah. Like everyone else goes out there and gives you 19 costume changes. It's frenetic energy. It's all this. Her show was like, hi, I'm Rihanna. You hired me. I don't dance anymore. Like, this is what I do.
Her show was I'm Rihanna, and that's enough.
Yeah. And you're welcome because it's hit after hit. And she didn't even do half of her hit.
But she always performs like that.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, like I went back and looked. Someone was like, go look at her MTV performance from this year. And it was the same thing.
Yes.
She's a vibe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She's
Yes.
not trying to do the most.
She's
and
not
we love her
Beyonce.
for that.
Like Beyonce is giving you perfection. She's giving you every costume change. She's hitting every mark. She's giving you tons and tons of choreo, the whole thing. And we love Beyonce for that. But you cannot make Rihanna Beyonce because Rihanna is like drinking with Seth Meyers, you know? Like that's just her
She's
vibe.
taking wine from restaurants in their glasses onto the street,
That's
as
right.
I now try to do and fail.
So you're not Rihanna update. Spoiler alert.
Do you know who else I want to write a celebrity memoir? Is Sandra Bullock. Because I don't know if you guys remember this. She accidentally married a Nazi.
What? Wait, wait.
Yes! Did she? Yes! She accidentally married a goddamn Nazi. And she found out he was cheating and he was doing like Nazi cheating.
The guy in Austin? When she was in Austin?
Yeah, the like motorcycle guy.
Tattoo lady.
With the tattoo who dated
I
Kat
don't want
Von
to read
D.
anybody's book who
We would know
accidentally
this if
marries
she
a
wrote a
Nazi.
fucking book.
That's true.
Like, I don't even know how you
That's
get that
true.
far.
Yes.
You have totally turned me off from her.
No, but here's the thing. She's still our rom-com queen.
She hasn't done enough
She
recently.
didn't know, you guys.
I mean,
It was a surprise.
listen, Rachel didn't know Lee was racist. Sandra Bullock didn't know she married a Nazi. Like, he's got like swastika tattoos. What's going on in Hollywood?
She didn't know. I have to believe. I have
Rihanna's
to
a good
believe.
Who's your celebrity memoir?
No, it
that
would
you
have
want?
to be. It would have to be Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
I would also take out from the library because I don't want to support Kanye West. I kind of want to know though,
He
right?
wouldn't give you a
I
book.
don't know if I would believe it.
I don't know. So So I love celebrity memoirs. I read a lot of them, not as many as Chelsea, and I can co-sign Jessica Simpson's is fantastic. But another one that I personally found to be fascinating, though totally not what the person thought it was going to be, is Will Smith's. So Will Smith's memoir, very entertaining, great read.
It's a self-snitch.
It's a self-snitch, exactly. And I think Kanye might give us that. I think he might hire a ghostwriter who will say all the things. Because how it works, my understanding is how it works is they go into the room with their ghostwriter, they work with them for months, they tell all their stories, and then the ghostwriters put it together and make this narrative, and they're the professional writers. And so sometimes the actor or the performer is saying XYZ, XYZ, and the person's like, ABC, ABC. And so you're getting like this insight because they've spent all this time with the person and they're shaping their story for the audience. And so Will Smith's, I finished it 2 weeks before the slap, and my snitchy husband will tell you that the moment the slap happened, I was like, I am not surprised. I see this tracks so hard with what I just finished reading, but I think that if I hadn't read it, I would have, you know?
If you read it, you knew he was going to hit somebody because
it was coming.
the whole book is like, my mother was abused.
Yep.
I was the oldest. I watched, and my younger brother had the courage to stand up for her, and I didn't. And I've tried to make it up to her my whole life. And you're like, well, then you're going to hit somebody. You know? You guys thought that was too dark, but truth is tough.
So I'm hoping that Kanye will give us something like that.
I don't trust him to give us
Or maybe North will give us something like
Now, I
that.
would read her book. I would read North. One of the kids, absolutely.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle.
Do you think...
We've had
Did
conversations.
someone say Meghan Markle?
Oh, it's triggering.
It's too late. We can't start this.
Do
But
you want the book, or are you curious about the book?
I will read it in 5 seconds, and I will tear it down.
We have talked
Yes.
off mic about this and
have also
share,
talked.
have very
I've heard-
and
yeah.
have very similar opinions. I would read it.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you read Harry?
No.
Yeah, I did. She did. We did.
Did you like it?
No.
Yes and no. For similar reasons to Will Smith.
You know what? With Meghan, I would read it because I would want something different from her.
Not gonna happen.
I wonder if she would give us. There's such a narrative, and it's starting to change in regards to her that I would want her book to be different, and my curiosity would make me read the book.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like
I would
how
also read it.
self-aware is she?
Very self-aware. That's what we're getting. We're getting her performance of self.
No, but not aware enough to know how to perform it better.
Exactly.
It's working on
This
some
is this
people.
part.
I don't
This
know.
part.
I would read the book 1,000, and if it comes out, I'm I'm
you're
on your
first.
show.
You're first. I will say Traci is coming on for Jada Pinkett Smith.
And Will Smith together.
Yeah, because Jada's book is dropping this fall. No one's excited. I can feel it from the crowd, and Traci said I'll be there.
You know whose book is coming out that I'm actually interested in? Carrie Washington.
You're on. Ooh. I just booked Rachel.
Did someone see that? I just booked Rachel. And I'm very interested
contractually binding.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I am very interested. And I think she's going to go deep.
Yeah.
I can feel it from her. You can tell she's got sincerity.
From Carrie Washington?
Yes.
Okay. I'm open. I'm watching Imprisoned. I like it. I'm open.
Sure.
I go into every celebrity memoir being like, show me what you have. I never go in being like, they're going to deliver. You go in like
someone watching stand-up comedy where you're like, show me you're funny.
Well, you weren't here last time, but I despise stand-up comedy and I don't go because I hate it. It's too much pressure. But yeah, because I've been burned so many times, right? So have you. When you read a celebrity memoir, sometimes they're trash and like bad and boring and they're not giving the vulnerable stuff. So then when you get a Jessica Simpson or a Demi Moore or a Viola Davis or a Jeanette McCurdy, you're like, holy cow, this is work. Like you're working, it's working. But I would never have said going into Jessica Simpson or Demi Moore, this one's going to be super vulnerable and interesting and great. And so I go into all of them with, it's going to be a miss.
I have to disagree because I think like Jane Fonda, Rue McClanahan, Delta Burke in a half-style memoir told us about an eating disorder she had that led her to do meth as a diet. Like
I didn't read those
These
ones.
women have been giving it to us. They really have been in a great way.
Well, I'm here for it.
Okay.
I can't wait to listen to you guys talk about Carrie Washington.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm so
doing
excited, Rachel.
Barbara Streisand? 600 pages?
No, it's 1,000 pages.
1,000.
Oh my.
Barbara Streisand
1,000
coming.
pages.
Pre-order your copy from the Salt Eaters Bookshop.
But I would read that.
I'll read it in a heartbeat. Okay, wait, I want to shift because we're definitely running out of time. We started late, so you guys are going to get a little late. We're going to get a little late. We're having fun, right? Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I was an actor, so I'm a little insecure. All three of us talk about things into a microphone, meta, publicly. We have opinions about the world, politics, the royals. I want to know for you, this is just me being nosy. I want to know for you what that's like and how you navigate it, especially because I know both of you are people who change your mind publicly, and I think that's really hard to do. And so I want to know how you're thinking. And you also have other jobs, right? Like Rachel, you go on the red carpet and you interview someone, and then the next day she talks about them on Higher Learning. So, like, what is that dance that you're navigating of like being your own person, talking about things, but also navigating this other career? You're a writer, you're in the rooms with people, and then you talk about their ex-girlfriend when they write their book or whatever. So I just love to be nosy.
I think for me, I came into all of this when I was on The Bachelor. I was 31. I knew who I was, I knew what I wanted, and I knew where I was going, and I wasn't trying to be somebody else. I wasn't trying to pretend. I wasn't chasing after celebrity. I only knew how to be me, and I'm still that way. So podcasting, which is where I get to give my opinions, and I love it so much. I always thought that I wanted to do radio. I started doing radio, and then I was doing TV. But when I got the mic for podcasting and being able to talk in such and not be beholden to any network and talk in such a free space, it is the most liberating experience. And you both know that as podcasters too. And I love it so much. And there's such a community with it that, and maybe because I'm not doing it in front of an audience, that also makes me feel like I don't really care. But I don't know. I guess my brand is, and I hate to use the word brand, like you hate women's fiction, but it's me to be myself and to be opinionated and to say what I feel and not necessarily worry about what's on the other side of it, because I want to be able to look myself in the mirror at the end of the day and know that I'm being true to myself. And sometimes that's giving a snarky opinion. Sometimes that's being a little shady. Sometimes that's being on the red carpet saying, tell me what you're wearing. And then the next day being like, oh my God, let me tell you about this. It's just, but I love that as women, we can own who we are, have the microphone, be confident in ourselves, and stand by the things that we say and not allow society or some person tell us how we're supposed to be and that we have to fit into a certain box. Up until I was 31, I was always living in a box, and I felt like I was the good girl doing what I was supposed to do. And then I took that sharp left turn for reality TV. And once I made that turn, I was never coming back. And so I'm just in this space now where this is who I am, this is how I want to be, and holding the microphone and expressing those opinions in whatever medium that may be makes me feel more myself than ever. I don't know if I answered the question.
Chelsea?
I'm inspired a lot by Rachel, even before she said that. I'm a pansy, and I will say, I'm a TV writer. I create my own stuff, and so to be in the role where you're critiquing something is like, one, very difficult for me because I'm usually on the other side being like, critics don't know fucking anything. And so to critique a book or say my opinion strongly on something, it's just like, it weighs very heavy on me. And also with memoir, a thing, I think we've talked about this. People have a hard time critiquing them because they feel like they're critiquing someone's life choices or someone's life events versus like how they wrote a memoir. So I have to feel something really strongly to be like, fuck this, or I don't like this, or here's what it is. Like, I have to go really far. I really try and like walk to this with empathy. I also think when it's celebrities, and particularly celebrity women, everyone, they almost become like inhuman. You know, so it's like so easy to like be like, oh, she did this or she did this, and I try and remember it's like it's a real person, celebrity or not. And so I feel like when I'm sharing my opinions, like I bring like 10 pounds of baggage to it. Do you know what I mean? Like all of that's weighing on me, and I'm like, do I really mean this? You know, so that's what I think about as I do it. And I will say, I have the most negative reviews I've ever gotten on my podcast where like you have to like open the app, you have to like go to the little thing, you have to hit 1 star, you have to type out your thing, you have to put in your Apple password, like it's a lot, okay? When I reviewed the Harry memoir, I got my first slew of negative reviews being like, you don't know the monarchy. You don't know. Kate's not racist, you're a loser. And I'm like, whoa. And like I had to take this like scourge of like monarchy supporters, and I don't even care about the monarchy, but you know, so that's a little hard. And then you watch your actual podcast like get 1 star. Oh, also they were mad that I didn't like Matthew Perry. So Matthew Perry and Harry, brought all these negative reviews, but it's hard to take it. And like people, you know, they feel protective of their things. They're like, how dare you come for the prince? And your laugh is weird. And now I gotta go the rest of the day being like, is my laugh weird? Because you love the monarchy? Yeah. Like, that's unfair.
Okay, we have to stop this, which makes me want to cry. Let's go to dinner soon. You're all invited.